What's good, YouTube? Steel here, and in this video we'll be taking on the third of 6 expert solo battles from Secluded Springs Suicune EX. We will be focusing on how to take it down specifically with fire Pokemon that are 3 diamonds or less. And if you're new here, I make guides for every single solo battle as they come out with the sets. So if you find these videos helpful, please consider subscribing. As always, I start my videos by breaking down the opponent's deck list, which in this case is a weaker version of the deck that has taken over the ranked ladder as well as tournament play. Unfortunately for us, since we're trying to beat this with only fire Pokemon, it's still quite difficult. When looking at the Pokemon lineup, the true menace is actually Milotic or Milotic. Sorry that I'm really bad at pronunciation, so I even pronounced pronunciation wrong. But not only does it heal damage from any water Pokemon when it comes into play, but it also deals a guaranteed 80. Suicune, on the other hand, is something that we could technically play around or manipulate, as by not putting anything on the bench or putting as little as possible on the bench, we could limit their damage to just 80, and in a world where they don't fill up their bench, it's even lower. However, the rest of the deck doesn't make it any easier, as the lead Mantac is able to make what is usually a passive turn a potential lethal play as a follow-up, and their trainer lineup is close to, if not exactly, what people are playing in their actual competitive Master Ball or tournament list. And with cards like Irida and Milotic healing so much, Mantac and X-Speed speeding up their strategy, and the rest of the deck just being part of a top tier core, our best bet to take Suicune EX down is Magcargo. If you've watched my content for Wisdom of Sea and Sky, then you're aware that this is not the first time using Magcargo to take down a solo battle, but this time around we have to make a few adjustments to counter the task at hand. For consistency reasons, we can only play Slugma and Magcargo as Pokemon since we're using fire only. We can't use the tech choices of like Silvally or Cleffa to find the pieces we need faster. To increase consistency, we play a copy of Iono and Pokemon Communications in an attempt to find Magcargo right on curve. Since we ideally only have Magcargo in play at the time of attacking, we actually indirectly control the power of Suicune, so our strategy kind of perfectly counteracts what they're trying to do, which is why Milotic or Milotic is such an issue. But Suicune itself is capped at a max damage of 80, and like we mentioned earlier, if they have no bench or not a full bench at all, it even gets lower than that. However, without any health manipulation, we cannot survive 2 attacks from Suicune or Milotic, which is why we max out on Potion, PCL, and Giant Cape, as well as 1 copy of Blue to further reduce damage. The rest of the deck is just made up of the best items and supporters in the game, from Mars to Silver and Guzma for disruption. You might see a lack of Sabrina and Cyrus, but realistically we have no use for cards like that this time around, as there's no Pyukumuku to play around and no one is safe from our attack. Realistically, this challenge is pretty straightforward, and some bad RNG might require to do more attempts than we would like to, but this deck has the speed to make up for its shortcomings, as a few attempts with this deck, win or lose, will go by a lot faster than one with any other fire strategy that I was testing. As always, thank you for watching up to this point. Enjoy the gameplay showing the deck in action, and above all else, stay pro. Alright, we get to go second, which is definitely ideal in the matchup. Now it's just a matter of finding Magcargo. Alright, Feebas Suicune. Interesting that they would start with Feebas, right? That's kind of awkward. I don't like, especially like, I understand like maybe Feebas was the only option they had starting Feebas, but they clearly had the option to go Suicune. Okay, never mind. If this finds Magcargo, then it's even better than almost there, right? Yikes! They just had everything, I guess, in their opening hand. Potion does not do enough. But we don't need an Iono as of right now. Let's just go 20. Realistically, they'll just leap out, but technically if they have X-Speed, if they draw the X-Speed, they'll probably go Mantac or something. Okay. Okay, guaranteed Magcargo, let's go. Because we only play the 2 basics, so this communication guarantees to get the only other card in the deck right now, which is one of the 2 Magcargos, right? And there you go. I'd rather keep the heals than anything else. And there's always, actually, there's no chance to win right now yet. Like, best case scenario, all 150 goes to Suicune, but we at least get 1 knockout on either one of these. Let's see here. This is unfortunately just random, but okay. A little high rolled on, like, too much damage on that Feebas, but we'll take it. Going it doesn't matter, because they could just swap it out for free. Also, I'm aware that this is one of those challenges where you'll have an example like this where it actually worked out, or we could have gone 150 on Mantac and then it'd be in a really bad spot. But you just gotta trust the process. Know that the games are so fast with this Magcargo line, similar to the not last season, the last set's fire only battle. But you see, the most they could do is 80 in a turn, like if they had one more Pokemon. So as long as we stay above 80, we're able to keep attacking. And you know, eventually we just persevere, right? Go here. Realistically, with proper healing, we get to spurt fire 3 times. At least that's the mentality. And that should be enough, like, to get the knockouts that we need, right? There you go. Perfect. But even then, we would have survived one more turn, no matter what they did. And hopefully by the third time, the math would have eventually add up, right? So yeah, that's example number 1. It worked out great. Yes, we went second. Yes, the Spurt Fire hit where it had to. But as always, we do multiple examples, so let's jump to example number 2. Alright, and lucky us, we get to go second again. And we have Magcargo off the rip. Let's go. Let's see here. They do play Mars though, so they might send it away, but hopefully we're fine, right? And they keep opening feedbacks, which I can't even say like anything really about it, because I feel like they open feedbacks even when they have the option otherwise. You see, like here they just did. I guess they could have drawn the Mantex, but never mind, never mind. This is awkward because if they have Milotic. Okay. That changes things heavily. I was about to say, because if they have Milotic, they swing for 80 and we're kind of cooked. This way, we could take a little bit more of a chance. I guess we could Guzma. Lowers the hand size, although in testing they'll use Mars on a 3-card hand regardless. But alright, so basically if they find Milotic, I might consider holding the Magcargo, but we'll see, because if they don't find Milotic, then obviously we'll just go Magcargo swing and it's just a game, right? Oof. Yeah, see, the issue here is that we're down 80, right? So Magcargo would be at 60. And they're gonna hit for another 80. So I think best case scenario, unless we draw like double healing here, is just to hide behind the Slugma one more turn. Yeah, it's just not it. We're gonna let this Slugma go. If they have Sabrina, we're kind of toast, but we're just gonna do this. Let this Slugma go and then have multiple attacks with the Magcargo in the back. At least that's the idea, right? Don't have Sabrina, please. Okay. Cave is rough. I guess we could have held, in theory, the Guzma, but... Alright, so now is where the real gambling begins, because we only have two chances at this Magcargo working before they knock us out, unless we draw a lot of healing. Which we do already have Potion, right? So technically it's not impossible. Okay, Cape is a good as well. We got Cape. Yeah, so max ticket hit us for is 80, which will put us... So we need more healing than this. We need like a PCL or another potion. But for this turn, we'll go silver. Try to hit anything out of their hand that might affect us. Not really. Alright, so it comes down to this. Can we get the... In 2 Spirit Fires, do we get the 3 points? And Spirit Fire number 1 is... pretty decent. Not good enough to win, but pretty decent nonetheless. If we get rid of Milotic next turn... The potion is enough to keep us alive. Let's see what they do here. Putting down a feedback. Okay, now that's a separate win condition now, right? As long as we hit feedback and Milotic, we're able to win here. We essentially need this Iono to find another potion, because there's no target for this Pokeball, so deck thinning is not an option. And this potion would save us just in case we miss Milotic. But if we hit Milotic, then we're good no matter what. Let's see here. Come on, Magcargo, for your own life. Right, perfect. Oh, and it knocked out the feedback. Okay, never mind. We won. As long as, but I wanted to make clear that as long as it hit Milotic, or Milotic, however you want to pronounce it, we won that one. So as you can see, we got lucky those 2 times. I know, and I hate saying we're lucky because I like to present a consistent deck. However, with fire only, there's only 2 real options that you could have, like, or approaches you could have, which is like a Blaine, Ninetales, Turtonator sort of situation, which is not that bad, and mainly because, again, Suicune's easy to play around. You don't put a bench, they're limited how much attack they could do, but the HP of both Turtonator and Ninetales and Magcargo, for that matter, isn't high enough to tank too many hits, even when they're as weak as the Suicune with no bench on your side. I think our best chance is the Magcargo, like, high rolling. As always, like I mentioned in a previous solo battle with Magcargo, is that yes, it's high rolly. Yes, there's a big chance that you might not win because let's say had it just decided to go 150 on the feedbacks in the back, it's very possible. But also the game is so fast. It's just like Slugma Magcargo, do I have it? Great. Spirit Fire, did it work? No. Run it back, and it will work faster, even if it takes like 4 or 5 attempts. Then if you have like a well thought out Blaine strategy and do it like game after game after game, even if you finish in 2 games with the Blaine deck, trust me, this Magcargo Go Burr is gonna work a lot more, like not efficiently but faster, which is all you could really ask for about these fire only decks, mainly because they haven't given fire too much support. It's one of those types that every set gets like 2-3 max Pokemon, or Pokemon lines in general, and they haven't given us that power that we require, or that we could use, sort of like how Grass got Meowscarada, or how Psychic has like the Togekiss line, like, or it's Fighting has Rampardos. Like there's so many different like types that have this strong finisher in the 3 diamonds or less rarity. Fire doesn't really necessarily have that consistently, but I still feel like Magcargo gets the job done. As always, thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions or questions, feel free to type them down below. I will answer as soon as I see them, and above all else, stay pro.